Hello everybody's SkinnyDude here, bringing you the next installment of Custom Card Craziness, Episode 2. So, for this one, I asked you guys a few weeks ago to submit to me what your definitions were of basically make some fun board clears. Like there's board clears in Hearthstone. You know, I guess a quality concept could be seen as fun, but for fun board clears, it might kind of like Excavated Evil, you know, like shuffle this card into your opponent's deck. It's totally different. Never seen cards like that before. Or like Doom, I guess, which is like a board clear and you draw for every creature killed. So I took all the submissions and I filtered through, took out some, but these are the best ones I feel like submitted to me that fit this qualification of a fun board clear. So let's get into it. So the first one here is a late submission, but I took it still anyway because he didn't really know about it and he came later. But first we'll talk about is MG's The Fastest. So this is a Hunter 7-mana spell, like Crushing Walls, except this is a legendary spell that says destroy all minions on the board except for the first one to get on it. So that means the earliest minion played. So that's interesting, right? Because if the Hunter's first 2 minions were killed off and your minion you played on turn 2 is still alive, then that minion would survive and all the rest of them would be killed. But let's say like this is like turn 5 or 6. Eventually you would lose track of what was the earliest minion played before this gets used. Normally. So that to me is definitely a really cool board clear. Now use the Hunter, you can kind of take mental predictions. You know, you can be like, alright, so this minion came out and it's still alive. So if I play the Fastest, it'll destroy all of his stuff and I get to keep my minions still out and going. So I really like that concept. Okay, so on to the next one. Alright, so these next ones were submitted by Holy, and it's a whole collaboration of cards, and they appear to be neutral. So these are neutral cards. The first one is a 6 mana Unexpected Awakening. Only cast if you control 3 minions with 1 attack or cost 1 mana. So I'm sure there can be a combination of things, but I'm sure Paladins would enjoy doing this with their Call to Arms, but... And then, so after you use Unexpected Awakening, you can destroy all minions and summon the Titanic Construct. So what is the Titanic Construct, you may ask? It's 6 mana. You need to have 3 minions with 1 attack or cost 1 out, which is really by turn 6, you kind of want to have better stuff than that. But here's what the Titanic Construct is. Alright, so 6 mana, 0/12. The Construct's Head of Balance. It cannot be targeted by spells or hero powers, and at the end of your turn, resummon each part of the construct that died this turn. Construct's Half of Fortitude, a 6 mana 1/1. At the end of each turn, give all friendly minions, except for Construct's Head of Balance, +1 health. And I really like that he put that there, because otherwise that thing would just be going up like crazy, because they would keep bringing back these other parts here. So and which includes all your other minions too. So if you have those 1-drops still out with 1 attack or whatnot, you know, this will boost up their health too. And then the other piece is the Construct's Half of Desolation. 6 mana 1/1. At the end of each turn, just deal 1 damage to all enemies, which includes the enemy hero. So at the end of the turn, you're getting the 1 damage to all enemies. And all your dudes, minus the head, are getting +1 health. And let's say your opponent like pings this off, does like a blizzard effect. Well, at the end of your turn, the Construct's head just resummons those pieces. So you really, have, as the enemy, want to try to kill this head before his minions get too big and he wipes out your board. And that is just such a cool concept. It's really, it could be, technically, 2 board clears in 1. Because you then go and wipe the board, and let's say that they've adapted their Murlocs to summon 1/1 plants. Well, after you wipe the board and they get all the 1/1 plants, then the Half of Desolation comes in and deals 1 damage to all those plants at the end of the turn and kills them all for good, which is really nice. I like this concept. This is really sweet. Okay. So thank you, Holy, for submitting those. Those are really awesome. I love that whole board wipe, and then you get like pieces like a Voltron kind of thing. Alrighty, so the next cards were submitted by Torva, who you all know is very popular on the channel for helping out with me in the chat and always submitting cards to this thing, which is awesome. I love when people do that, so I can submit them here. So his first one is a spell, 5 mana Judgment. It's a Priest Epic spell. For the rest of the game, destroy all minions with an even-numbered mana cost and give +1/+3 to all minions with an odd-numbered mana cost. Your Northshire Cleric just became a 1 mana 4/6. Oh, 1 mana, 4. 1 mana, 2/6 for 1 mana. Grant all your Nether Sprite Historians die when you play it, because there's Destroy all means with an even number of mana cost. That could be taken as two ways. Either destroy them all in the deck or in the hand, almost like how Geist destroys them all. I feel like it's supposed to be taken that way. So it just takes out all the Twilight Drakes, but all of your odd costed minions, your Draconoid Operatives, your Scale Banes, you know, those are all now way more buff and strong. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. This is basically like you'd want to play this preferably in a priest deck where most of your stuff is an odd cost. So you won't really lose anything, and all of your dudes get jacked, and they lose like half their deck. Seems amazing to me. It's some deck building tips too. You know, a Blizzard likes to have deck building things like the Princes, Reno, Kazakus, all those kinds of things that force you to make your deck a certain way to get a cool added effect. Next card, submitted by Torva. It's a warrior card, 7 mana 2/2 epic. Rambo. It's a gunner as its tag there. It's battle cry. Deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion until a minion with 5 or more attack dies. So fun fact, if they have an army of 3/3s, Rambo just kills them all by just shooting out bullets at all of them. Also, let's say that they use their the Druid card that's a 5 mana, fill your board with 2/2s by spending your mana crystals. Well, those now all die thanks to Rambo. It is an amazing anti-aggro card, but once they Gentle Megasaur as a paladin, Rambo could potentially take out a few of them down before he kills the 5 attack guy's health, you know? So 7 mana for 2/2 that wipes the board, potentially. I like it. Think about it. It just hits the Void Lord, right? And then it just starts shooting its little descendants, Voidwalkers. Pretty cool. I like it. Next one from Torva. A 10 mana 2/10 Lich with the battle cry. Oh, I should say her name. Anutha the Gravelord. 10 mana 2/10 Lich. Battle cry. Destroy all of their minions. Then fill your board with 2/2 Anuic Ghouls. So 10 mana board wipe here. This is competing with Doom right now. Nobody really plays Doom to begin with. But that's okay, because this will help fill that spot. So the Anuic Ghoul are 2 mana 2/2 ghouls that says your Anutha the Gravelord has +1 attack. So you wipe the board by playing Anutha. And you get 6 2/2 ghouls theoretically. That all give her +1 attack. So she's really a 10 mana 8/10 Lich that summons an army of 2/2s. But the ghouls say Death Rattle, deal 1 to 2 damage to your Anutha the Gravelord. And I like that. So even if these 6 Anuic ghouls die, you could still have Anutha still alive. Right? So, I mean, yeah, she'd be a 2 minimally, if it was the best case scenario, a 2/4. But she just wiped the board and filled the board with a bunch of 2/2s. Okay. So, thank you, Tor, for submitting those. Those were great. And now I'm going to show you guys my intake, which is probably what you guys are here for, because you can see all those other cards in the discard anyway, and you just came to see mine. Alright, so we've had minions that wipe the board. We've had spells that wipe the board. We've had spells that wipe the board and summon things in addition. We have the Hunter one, which lets you basically, you can cheat the system if you can remember which one you played first, or who played a card first, to be able to wipe the board and still have a thing. Alright, so now I made a Warlock Legendary spell. It's a history theme. I might try to do the history theme throughout all these triple Cs if possible. It's going to get a little harder later on, but we'll see what happens. So it's a 9 mana history, Bubonic Plague. Destroy all minions and summon a 1/1 rat with the Death Rattle. Become the Plague Doctor. So it's a 9 mana board wipe. There's 8 mana board wipe for Warlock. There's the 10 mana Doom. Here's the 9 mana board wipe for Warlock. Summon a 1/1 rat. So here's the little 9 mana 1/1 history rat. This is Death Rattle become the Plague Doctor. This is certainly an interesting concept, because we've seen in Hearthstone, you played your Axis, you become a hero. I guess this mimics Major Domo Executus, and the fact of being you die and you become Ragnaros, but in this case you die and you become the Plague Doctor. So what's the Plague Doctor? You get 20 health as the Plague Doctor, and your hero power becomes Bubonic Shot. 2 mana. Deal 3 damage to the enemy hero, and 1 damage to all enemy minions. So it's better, at least in a way, to Gul'dan, because Gul'dan deals 3 and you heal 3. Well, Bubonic Shot, you deal 3 to the enemy and 1 damage to other guys. So it could potentially be a board wipe, if need be. Assuming all others are 1 health. You play Despicable Dreadlord at the end. You use Bubonic Shot, deal 1 damage. Despicable Dreadlord goes off, deal 1 damage. You know what I'm saying? So you could have a little bit of board wipe action going on. Plus, you're dealing 3 damage to the enemy hero. So it is pretty versatile. So you end up board wiping if you can get this little 1/1 rat to die, which hopefully you do. But the thing is, it could get polymorphed. Potion of Madness. So there's some ways to even have your opponent become the Plague Doctor. But if so, they end up having 20 health. Is that good? Maybe. I guess you just hope you don't fight a priest. Or just wait till Potion of Madness rotates out. But, yeah, so that was my take, is that you board wipe, you get a minion, and then you become a new Death Knight. Or, well, not a new Death Knight, but you can become a new hero here. So, at least that was my intake on what seemed to be a pretty fun board clear when you become a whole new hero. So, thank you everybody who submitted these fun board clears. If you aren't a member of the Discord yet and you're watching, join the Discord, because then you can submit cool cards like this to have appear on next week's episodes. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.